Okay, now today I wanted to show you how to make a simple bread. We call it crusty bread, and it's one of the simpler, easier breads I make. So this is something real easy you can do if you just want some homemade bread. It's nice and hot and delicious, and it's super easy. So what I've done, and the recipe is easy too. All it is, and it's on the internet somewhere. I'll try to find a link where I initially found it. But all it is 3 cups of flour. And remember, with flour, you place it in the cup. You don't scoop like that. That packs it down. You have to, the way you measure flour is you just gently place. Okay. There's 2. I don't use a knife and all that, although you probably should, but you can eyeball it and see. It takes 3 cups of flour, and it takes 1 teaspoon of salt, and the recipe calls for 1/4 teaspoon to 1/2 of a teaspoon of rapidly rising yeast. So I use 1/2, and I just go like that. Very simple. Those ingredients and water. Now what you're gonna do, get a little closer here, hon. What you're gonna do is you're gonna add approximately 1 and 2/3 cup of hot water. This is hot tap. So I'm pouring it in. You're not going to use it all. You're just going to eyeball it. And what you're going to do is mix it until it becomes like a paste. Like glue paste. It's going to have that consistency. Okay. So keep mixing till it's all incorporated. Almost ready. See how it's still a little too dry? Add just a little bit more water. Remember, this is hot water. Okay, that's it. You barely want it wet. You barely want it wet. You want all the dry ingredients wet, but not too wet. Just like that. So it's going to have that consistency to it. Okay? Then you're going to cover it tightly. Now this particular bowl does not have a lid, so I make a lid with this press and seal. You can use saran wrap, aluminum foil, it's fine. So that's going to be tight. And you're going to let that rise for at least an hour and a half. At the least. I usually make it the night before and let it set all night. It's like a sourdough. Now I've done one beforehand, so you can see what it's going to look like. Now this, see how it's raised a little bit? Okay, it did look like that before. Real quick, looked like that, kind of goopy. And it rose to this. See, it's got a lot of bubbles in it. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take a generous amount of flour. This is 1/2 cup. I use a bowl. You can use your countertop, but I use a bowl so I don't have to dirty the whole countertop. I just spin it. You're going to use a generous amount of flour. And then you're going to take this whole amount and you're just dumping it in there. I've washed my hands. I'm getting ready to knead it. And while you're doing this, your oven needs to be on 450. And you're going to be cooking it in a pot that has a lid, because it's going to have to be baked with a lid for 30 minutes. Okay, I'm going to add, pardon me, I'm going to add just a little bit more flour to the top, because now we need it until it's no longer sticky. And I just go all around the bowl like this. You can use any big bowl. It's already trying to stop being sticky. And it says need 5 minutes, I'm sure, but I just knead it until it's no longer sticky. If it's got holes in it, well, that's just the fun part. Doesn't matter. It's going to be eaten anyway. But see, you can't even, it's not even really sticking to my hands. So, we're just going to knead it. And we're putting it into a round shape. Okay. So that's about what you're going to come up with, is that. And then you're going to place that. This pot is hot. So you're going to place it right in this pot, just like that. And remember, the first 30 minutes, you're going to cook covered. Now, I use a cast iron, but you don't have to. Just something that is oven safe and seals. So you're going to bake that 30 minutes on 450, and then I'll show you the rest of it when it's done. Enjoy. Okay, so the timer went off just now for 30 minutes. I wanted you to see what it looks like. Come here a little closer. This is what it looks like after 30 minutes. So it's risen. It's kind of round and nice, and it's a little bit golden brown. We're going to set the timer for 15 more minutes, okay? And I'll see you in 15 minutes. Okay, so the 15-minute buzzer went off. So now the bread's cooked for a total of 45 minutes. And this is what it looks like. Can you see it? Get a little closer, honey. You just pull it right out. It comes right out. I had put a little bit of flour in the bottom of the pan. And that's it. And it's just going to cool now. You have to take it out of the pan. Otherwise, it's going to keep cooking in that pan. And it will cook even just a little bit more just as it sits out. But that's it. This is the final product. It's going to soften a little bit, but it's crusty on the outside and really soft and delicious on the inside. There's your easy bread.